Good afternoon, everyone. So today I'm going to go ahead and break down my analysis for this week, or pretty much the next couple of days with market direction. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and look at my hourly time frame just to see where we're at, kind of determine a little bias we got going on here. So over here already, all right, we can see we came out for these lows on a larger time frame after this little dump. Not so little, actually, very large dump. So right now we have this identifiable range, right? So we got that going. We're gonna take a look at where we are, right? So we're gonna draw our 50%. That's smack right there. Okay. So we didn't come to take out the low. We haven't come to take out the high. So main magnet 50%, right? So get rid of this. Go back to our smaller time frame because that's all we really need. 1 minute demons, you know? So right now, currently, what I'm looking at is this range right here. So I'm gonna take this high. Hi, how are you? To this. Jar 50. And here we have our identifiable range. All right. So right away, upon market open, we can take in this open right here with the down close for a long position, targeting either this high or even up to this high right here. All right. So right now, currently in this upwards movement, looking for it to take out this high. Now let's say you completely missed this movement or that entry, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this swing right here and this swing right here. Right. Just like that. Draw 50 based off of this swing. Bada boom, bada boom. Okay, got a nice little long entry right there. Right? Cool. So here we got that. Now, I wondered, oh, how could I have gotten this? How would the 50 have shown me this guy right here? That's a good question. So one thing to keep note of is whenever you're on an uptrend, you're going to be using your upswings, right? When you're downtrend, you're using your downswings. So let's say we got that to that. This low right here to this high. The reason why I'm not using it from down here is just because this is its own separate movement. So right here we kind of got a nice long entry targeting this high again, and that's exactly where it's going right now. Now let's say we even missed that, right? Let's say we want to go for a little scalp. We're going to take our upwards movement, just like that. Another long entry right there. So one thing to keep in mind, right, is when you are trading this method, you're not just trading what you're drawing. You're trading price action, you're trading volume, you're trading imbalances, you're trading liquidity. All those different things, right? So if I were to break it down, let's go back to this range, right? This high to this low. We draw it out. People looking at it like, hey, like, where's the one go? All right, guys. A little sleepy. So here, open range. What you're looking for, right? So a new trader, they would have saw this like, oh, it's coming out of the 50, like maybe I could take sells when it pops out. No, wrong. So here you have a buy side candle wicking out. A wick out does not mean a break. A wick out means, just a grab, some liquidity. It's just going for some liquidity, right? You may be wondering why I have these two lines here. So these are SMAs. I personally like to use the 21 and 100. Works really well with this. So if I give you guys another example, let's say we're taking this swing here to here, right? Like, oh, what the fuck? I never came back to it. Hey, it just might. It just might, right? But now let's take this guy, for example. So this is a good example. We're going to take this nice, beautiful swing right here. So right here where it tested our previous 50 on the sell side, right? We also came and tested the 100 SMA and kept rejecting off of the 21 SMA. Now let's say we're using this one. Take this swing. I'm actually going to be starting from down here. Not that it's going to make a difference. So I wouldn't have been able to get an entry right here. Would have missed out on that. But if you draw this out, you got a nice little short scalp targeting previous levels of support and resistance, which is right here. So just like right here, tested 100 SMA. It's also our 50%. So on top of, your different indicators, because you don't want to just solely use the 50% concept, right? You want to use other things too. I'm not telling you what indicators to use, and this is just that, you don't need to use this concept at all. But me personally, I use my MP50 concept together with my SMAs. It works really well. So going back to it, you want to keep in mind price action, volume, what else? Just fucking what the fuck the candles mean, right? So right here, this is a perfect example of an entry for longs, right? We still haven't come to take out this high, right? We're just here, we broke out from the 50, we got that retest, and there we got our entry. So I personally like to take my entries off of either the flat out rejection or the break and retest of the zone, right? So here we got that retest. Here we got a sell side candle that just straight up smacked it and rejected it, and then we got an opening on the buy side. If you want to play safe, you can take the opening of the next candle, but I personally like to go off the rejection of the 50, just because that gives me a way better entry and you have less risk, right? It could be less risk or more risk depending on what you're viewing it as, but in this case, it is less risk just because we're not seeing it go that low out into it. Whenever I do take an entry like right here, I like to set my risk about halfway through our 50% level. So about right there, right? And this is also a pretty good indication, or not necessarily indication, but this is also a good zone. If you look farther into it, you have things like a fair value gap. So other confluences that kind of reinforce it being a solid level. Another important thing is being able to manage your trades once you actually have your entry. So like right here, I would have been like, all right, we still have good continuation. We're holding above this previous high. Because usually if price does want to reverse, it's going to take out a high and come back down, right? But here it's holding above and it's holding it nicely. So we can look for it to clear this next high, so on and so on, until we eventually come to take out this one right here. For today, I am up a good amount on this new 250K. So really nice, really nice. I was down a little bit though. So if I were to show you guys my executions, I did get a little chopped up. I was flip-flopping around. But here I took some longs, and here I got out of my longs. Here I took some shorts off of this 21 SMA, and here I went down. So my executions for these guys right here, I was just simply using this guy. So you can actually use your 50% vice versa of the swing. If it's whatever's most recent on the swing, just use that swing. And then if you want to look too, you could have taken this guy, dragged this down, we would have got a buy entry right there, targeting these previous highs. So like I was saying, no price action, no volume, know your fucking candles, right? Sometimes you are going to get a little spooked out just because you might see a doji and you're like, okay, hey, it might reverse. But it's very important when you get the proper entries, so you don't even need to worry about that. You can let it run. You have room to breathe. You can even go 2 cons in on a mini. Sell off 1 con once you are hitting a level like this, and so that at that point it's a risk-free trade. So here we're approaching that TP. We're looking for it to close above and then eventually just keep going, right? And that's how it's going to work. So for the rest of the week, I'm just looking for it, like I was saying earlier, to just close this out, fill that gap. And here we go, we just smacked that target, which was this previous high. So now off of this close, we're going to draw a 50% off of the candle that swept the high. And that could even give you another entry. If you're wondering how that might look, I'll give you a nice example right here. So let's say we're using this low, right? This swing. So right here, right? Let me get rid of these guys too and get rid of my executions. I'm gonna draw a 50 off of whatever candle sweeps the high or the low, right? Which should be this guy right here. So I'm gonna take that candle, draw a 50 off of it. And if you look at it, look how nice that looked. Perfect, perfect entry. Right? So whenever you do have a range breakout, just do it like that. Whatever swing high, swing low you're doing, whatever range you're doing, the moment the top of that range gets swept and a candle closes and is continue to break out, draw 50 of that candle and take another position on whatever way it's breaking out, of course. And here we have extra confirmation. We rejected the 100 SMA, we're back into 50, and we're on a continuous uptrend as we are in a huge imbalance, right? To the downside, that big dump, we got to recover a little bit, you know. And here we go. We're coming to take out this high now. But that's really it for the most part. If you guys have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. I'm always looking at my phone to see if you guys are ever wondering about anything. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching.